Hello everyone and welcome to what is going to be a little bit of a mini-series I'm going to have going on. This is actually my second take on recording this. I was having some frame rate problems, which is really weird because I've never had that with Terraria. I don't know where that dirt block came from. But yeah, so regardless, we are going to be jumping in here. So this is a world I have made for a sort of Let's Play. I wanted to do some extended content with Terraria, but I didn't want it to be a massive series, which obviously starting a fresh game of Terraria and trying to play through it a lot and play through it is pretty much guaranteed a large time investment in terms of series length. So I wanted to try to find a way to make it a little bit more reasonable in terms of that length. Also, I should point out that if you notice this is not Terraria music, this is music from the webcomic Homestuck, which I am using a wavebank I got on the Terraria forums to toss in there. But yeah, what I decided on after a couple days of considering my options for it was I have started this character in hardcore mode. So if I die, I lose the character, I lose all his items, it's game over, essentially. Along with that, I've given myself a Godly North Pole, which is one of the best melee weapons in the game. A Pixaw, which is going to help speed up our mining and everything a whole lot. We got a lot of wood and a lot of torches, pretty much so that house building and such is not going to be a huge time sink. But even looking at the start of this map, right here, how long would this have taken me to dig through with just the copper pickaxe you start with? That's kind of what I wanted to try to avoid with this series, at least this initial series on Terraria, because I feel like it is, although it is a very much reasonable thing that the game takes time, at the same time it means that it will be a very, very long series if I tried to do that there. So we got our first accessory there, some climbing claws. That is one thing that I haven't given myself any of, is any type of accessory, anything like that. If I want to use any of those, I need to find them on the save. Whether I will necessarily do everything on camera or if some of it will be off camera, I'm not sure yet. But I do know that, why am I just passing up ore? I forgot that this is a fresh save where I could really use all this kind of stuff. I guess because it was underwater, I was a little bit paranoid. But yeah, I may do some grinding and stuff off camera at some points, but I feel like, for the most part, I'm going to try to keep a lot of this on camera, and that's why I wanted it to be sped up a little bit from normal progression. Fire your bolts! Kill the slimes! So if you look there, this is pretty much the reason why the Godly North Pole, or the North Pole in general, is one of the best items in the game. Every time you fire, and every time you attack with it, it fires out one of these little projectiles that drops snowflakes, and all those snowflakes do damage when they hit the enemies. So combine those two, and you have the ability to pretty much spam attacks very quickly, and get a lot out of it, which is obviously going to build up to an insane amount of DPS eventually. We do have a wooden boomerang. I'm not too concerned about that right now. Bottles are helpful always, especially later in the game when you want to create flasks or weapon imbuement flasks or potions, of course. So obviously our first goal here is going to be to build a house. We do have one area that's kind of blocked off by water, and it looks like the other one might be a bit too. I don't know why it was just so hard to hit that slime. And it looks like we have crimson in this world, which is both good and bad. It's good because it means that if I want to get key molds eventually and try to do the whole dungeon biome chests, it means I have access to vampire knives on this world, which is very, very useful, especially for a melee heavy build. But it also means that, one second while I switch over my blocks here. It also means that, what am I going for here? It's a little bit harder of the two to deal with, that versus corruption. So obviously, given our weapons, it's not really killing the enemies it's a problem. It's a more so a matter of surviving, since obviously being hardcore mode, survival is key. We are going to want to get underground before long to try to get ourselves some nice items and some nice uh, chests, some heart pieces, all that stuff. But right now I'm just kind of leveling off this area because I want to make a basic house structure before we get too far into things here. The reason I gave myself so much wood is just because eventually, in terms of house building, you spend so much wood, and instead of just having to go around and chop down all the trees in the forest, so to speak, this way here I am able to just kind of chop down what's in my way, and other than that I will have the wood to make things. So we're going to start this a bit small. Whoops. Let's see, that is 1, 2. Okay, that is about the height I like to have my rooms for NPCs normally. The reason we're going to start this a bit short is because obviously we don't have much of a way to get up above it. But what we're going to do is we're going to make this whole little level here, and this whole little area here between the waters, into a house. Now we're going to need to craft ourselves a wooden workbench. I do have pause when you're on the inventory menu set on. It's a feature that I kind of like to have off at times, but at the same time, given the fact that we're doing this recording on the series, it seemed like it would be wiser to have it on because it allows me to kind of pause and focus if need be. Not sure how many walls I'm going to need. 160 should be good, I would think. We're going to start planning those down so we can get our guide, a house to move into. We can split this up into 2 rooms, and that way there the next NPC will be able to move in as well once things open up for that. This might actually be almost perfect in terms of walling. I forget exactly how much we made to begin with, but we've used up quite a bit of it already. Now my hope is that I will be able to, yes, wall off the entirety of the top section of this house with what I have available. And with my height, that's what I'm going for. I do need a little bit more in terms of walls, and this is why I gave myself a lot of wood, because walls get absurdly expensive when you're building bigger and bigger houses. And this gives me the ability to make more of them without really having to worry. Just going to make 4 more. It'll be more than enough to cover up this one little splotch here. Then we're going to hammer through these, plant a door, do the same on the other side, and then plant a door there. Now it is very important to me to have a house, because obviously playing in hardcore mode, we'll turn this into a bit of a tower as time goes on. So for right now, we're going to put the door right in the middle. That seems just maybe not perfect, but pretty close. As close as I'm willing to get it, at least. I need 2 chairs. I really only need 1 table, but I want to put 1 in each room, so I guess I'll make 2. So we're going to put a chair here, a table right in front of it. That'll be a house for someone. Then a chair here with a table in front of it. And then we are going to plant this door in the middle. Perfect. And now we've got houses for our first 2 NPCs. And we can make a really tall tower off these 2 basic rooms to accommodate the rest of the NPCs as time goes on. I should make sure that this housing is both suitable. It should be. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be. Yes, both suitable. Good. So now what are our next goals? We need to get a furnace going, which is going to need some more stone. Do I still have a decent amount of wood? I do. So what we're actually going to do is, I'm not wood, dirt. Yes, dirt. I'm just going to carve out a little area under the house here in order to get some stone, which should be useful to us. We do want to make a furnace as soon as possible, obviously, so we can smelt ores. And I don't really care too much if this is mostly open underneath. I just want to at least seal in blocks that are making a hole. Because I believe right now this housing is not actually viable. Yes. So our guide moved in, and then we're like, screw you, guide. We're just going to destroy your housing. I do want to get most of this area sealed off. That was actually the perfect amount. And now that should be valid again. Yes. So we'll put you back in here. Enjoy. So now obviously come night we're going to be dealing with some tougher enemies. And we aren't exactly equipped armor-wise to deal with that. We do have a healing potion, which is of course helpful. And of course on the other side of the map over here we also have yet more of an ocean, well not an ocean type area, but a large body of water that quite frankly we don't have the ability to cross right now. You know, I would love to go explore some more of the map over here, but this is a big body of water that's going to be very difficult to get over in this point in the game. We also don't really have any caverns that are easily accessible to us from this side of the map here. So I am a bit unsure how exactly I'm going to proceed. Obviously I want to get underground, probably at the start of the next day. I think it would be rather unwise to jump underground just as night comes. Although, you know what, actually underground is probably safer than above ground, let's be honest. Iron Skin Potion isn't a bad start. But of course we run into water right away. So we're going to dig down here. And again, this is why I gave myself the pick saw, because it is simply so much quicker to dig through the ground to do these early game type ore retrievals and cavern finding. It is just so much quicker to use the pick saw than it is to use, you know, your early game pickaxes. And it's not a matter of, you know, the fact that it's gonna let me skip to demonite, because you can't really mine enough demonite to make much, or crimtane I guess, since this is a crimson world. But it's more so a matter of just simply I don't want to spend a whole lot of time early in the game digging through a whole bunch of dirt just to, you know, see if there's a cavern below. I need to remember that my staff here does not actually create any kind of light. Oh god, I hate not having maneuverability. That is our first goal when we get to hard mode, is to get wings. Just saying. I also have no, what am I looking for? No, glow sticks, which is kind of a difficulty adder. Some tin bars isn't bad. Throwing knives. Shuriken, never really cared for, even without the, even without having a good weapon to start with. We could make that jump, good. Now we do need to be careful, because obviously one wrong fall off a cliff and we're dead and this character is lost. And obviously I could remake this exact character using the editor I used to get these oversized stacks of materials, but that would not be something I would want to do instead of just, you know, surviving to begin with. What did I leave in here? Oh, throwing knives. Should have just trashed them. That one down there is empty, I believe. It's probably risky to bother mining that, but... So of course the other thing I have to consider is I do need to have a way to get back to my house. Unless we find a magic mirror nice and early, getting home is going to be a little bit rough. If I had access to more biomes off the bat, I probably would have jumped underground in a little bit harder area and risk that instead of to get better drops instead of oh yeah, I can't just use shift to place blocks, and I already had the block selected anyway. There we go. This is my first time in kind of an early game situation in Terraria in quite some time, so I will probably move through things a bit slowly. Other than the fact that I have these items to speed things up a bit, I mean slowly more so in terms of I won't try to rush progress, both because I want to play it a bit safe with it being hardcore mode, and the fact that obviously I want to keep myself alive, but also the fact that I kind of want to remember how the early part of Terraria goes, because it's been a while. We're going to get some tungsten out of here, which is nice. Let's plant a torch here. Is there a cavern down this way? There is. Give me that torch back. I don't need to put it there. So we will probably go down this cavern here. But I am also a bit curious what lies over here by the sand. So we're going to destroy some of it to make light travel a bit better. And then toss this up. And it looks like it is just stone over here. It looks like we're not really running into anything all that interesting, which is unfortunate. But I didn't really expect anything hugely interesting. We do have some cobwebs and another cavern over here. I don't know if I really want to go down there just yet, because it's going to be a little bit tougher to get back out of than this one is. I've got to remember that I now can't place torches on these walls. And this cave itself came to an end pretty quickly, but there is another one below it. Although, this is a rather long drop. So, where are our ropes? Ropes are going to be hugely useful in this series, without a doubt. Because again, fall damage early on is pretty much the bane of my existence. I should also add that this is a small world, so I will be probably able to get Sky Islands relatively easily, all things considered. Could take down this massive pile of sand. It's going to give us access to another cavern over here, which might actually connect us to where we kind of gave up on earlier. Should get us at least close. But I'm going to explore this house area over here, because that usually has good drops. Oops. Grab. Thank you. What's up here? We got nothing much, it seems. We actually haven't seen much in the way of underground enemies yet. I'm kind of surprised by that. I definitely hear something. There are definitely enemies alive. And we find our first gold chest, as well as our first underground slime. A red slime. Oh my god, we got a magic mirror in the first chest we opened. In the first gold chest we opened. That is the greatest thing. That is going to save us so much trouble. So much trouble. Let's grab that. There is another cavern over here. There's a yellow slime coming at me. Of course, one of the hard things about using the North Pole is that underground in these type of situations, it's not necessarily the most effective it can be. It's great above ground. Underground, it's very good, but not quite as overpowered, because you can't abuse the projectiles it drops quite as much. Oh god, arrow trap. Go away. Never again shall you hit me. You know, I never much cared about arrow traps when I was playing through the first time. But when we're talking about having very little health regen and not really having much in the way of survivability and the fact that if we die, we're dead for good, suddenly those arrow traps become a much bigger annoyance. I should be able to, yes, scale that wall using my climbing gloves, spike shoes, whatever the case may be. Okay, our health is starting to grow now, though, so that's a plus. We do have some glow sticks as well, which is a helpful thing. Might as well take that statue. We got a glowing mushroom biome over here. I did not expect to find one of those so soon. Am I going to be able to do this without flooding? Yes, I am. It's one of the biggest skills you can learn in Terraria, how to dig out areas around water without flooding yourself in. A little bit of silt will come in handy when we find an extractinator. Of course, I'm not too concerned about mushrooms. Honestly, I've played around with Ranger Armor, or late game Ranger Armor, the Shroomite, and it's not bad by any means. But late game, I really feel like if you're playing a single player server, the Ranger class, so to speak, is not necessarily the most viable. You can certainly do a lot of damage, you can certainly do well with it, but I would much rather play a mage with Spectre Armor or a warrior with vampire knives. We got a flare gun and some flares. It's not a bad thing. We can actually stick the flares in ammo. Tungsten bars, some more healing potions. You know, we might as well... I guess it's probably best to save those until later. But yeah, I am going to collect some glowing mushrooms. Because Shroomite is a nice thing to be able to get eventually. Not to mention, if you want to get all the NPCs, you kind of need some mushrooms that you can plant up on your own house in order to get the truffle to move in. And we will definitely remember the fact that there is a mushroom biome here, in case our minds change later. There is actually a big collection of silt and then some tin. Yeah, I'm not too concerned with tin. Obviously we've got a decent chunk of other materials, but nowhere near enough to make armor. Oh wow, this is a huge mushroom biome. Die, you jerk! No! Don't you dare! Really, my rope can't drop because of the torch. I actually forgot about how useful ropes were early game. You know, by late game, even if you don't have wings, even by late hard and easy mode, I mean, where you don't have wings, you've usually got Spectre boots, or at the very least rocket boots. Oh god, that was very close to my death. That was very close to the end of this character and me needing to remake it at the start of the game again. Let's not have that happen, why don't we? I also probably shouldn't mess around in water too much. I can dig myself an air pocket, obviously, but is it really all that worth it to mess around in the water? I can also dig out this area. Let that drain. And that is going to give me my first chunk of gold. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. Yeah, we got a pretty deep cave going on here. We got a couple of sapphires. That's helpful because it's going to help us to get to a point where we have a hook. I really want to get a grappling hook as soon as possible. Either that or find Sky Islands even before I find a hook, which is unlikely. Because that would allow me to possibly get a lucky horseshoe, which of course would allow me to fall down without taking fall damage. Because really I am not afraid of anything as much as I am of fall damage in this hardcore mode here. Because enemies, unless you're somewhere you really shouldn't be, they aren't going to kill you super quick. Where are you? I see you, worm. There we go. Giant worm is dead. But yeah, even with, even considering for the fact of, you know, enemies that are doing a lot of damage to you, you're usually going to have enough time to get away, or to deal with them when you have a strong weapon like this, before they have a chance to kill you. Fall damage, that can be one little mistake and suddenly everything is lost. That's part of the fun of doing this in hardcore mode, is it essentially becomes how long until I make a mistake. I think this is a gem cavern, maybe? Nope, not quite. It kind of looked like one, but it wasn't. That's unfortunate. I was really hoping that it was, because that would have meant pretty much a hook right away. Nothing over there that I can see, so let's go up this way by this bat. By this jelly. And let's go up here. Oop. Can't quite make that jump. There we go. Got a little bit more gold dropped for and spawned for us. That's good. I am so happy, guys, that we got that magic mirror right away. I was really worried about our ability to get back to the surface if I played through this like normal. But, because you know, when you're first starting out playing Terraria, you do tend to end up having death be one of the main things that gets you back toward the surface. I might as well mine this Crimtane while I'm here. Spider biome. That'll be a royal pain when hard mode gets here. It's not so bad now, and it could actually give us a web slinger if we're lucky. If we're lucky enough for this to have a web-covered chest in it. It does not look like we are, though. I am a little bit afraid to be in here, honestly, because things could go sour very quickly. Okay, this does continue on over this way a bit. As long as we keep attacking, we should be relatively safe. We do have a decently strong weapon. And it appears, is that an aqua chest? Why is there an aqua chest when there's no water around whatsoever? Get out of here, bat. We got some bombs. We got flippers. We got flippers in a random chest. In a random area. I'm confused. I am confused to say the least. These torches we don't need. Glow sticks we can stack. Don't really need these mushrooms. Mud block. This one wood wall, this goldfish. I'm just trying to clear out our inventory a bit of stuff that I don't particularly want. Because I want to be able to obviously keep getting more stuff that is dropping. And that is going to be very difficult if we already have a full inventory. So we can now swim, which is a huge helper. Don't let me understate the importance of getting those flipper pickups. I am just very confused as to why and how we got them. I have never seen a water chest spawn in a spider biome with no water around it. So I am a little bit confused to say the least. But it's not the weirdest thing that could happen, I guess. Technically. That is going to give us the ability to explore the surface a bit more and maybe find some other biomes. This mother slime we should be able to kill relatively easily. I don't think it's guarding anything, so I don't know why I'm going to kill it, but we might as well. And let's see now. How far down on the map are we? Oh wow, we're actually really far down. And it's no wonder that we're finding good chests, because we have actually made quite some progress downwards. Um, in fact, I think we are about to hit lava. Oh, I see some emeralds. Can I get them? Ropes. I will need ropes. Come on, cobwebs. 3 emeralds, that's not bad. A little bit of obsidian we might as well grab already. Now, obviously, I'm not just going to dig my way into hell and try to survive down there and give myself hellstone armor right away. Not going to do that. Not the least of which because I question my ability to survive in hell with absolutely 0 armor. But also because, I don't want to break progression that badly just by the fact that I have this pick. So I am going to mine things I wouldn't be able to mine in this point in the game. But progression-wise, we're pretty much going to be moving in a standard linear function through the armor and such. The one exception to that might be in hard mode. Once we get the hard mode ores spawn, there's really no advantage to getting cobalt or palladium or calcium or mithril and if you have what am I looking for? If you have titanium, because that's going to spawn pretty close to the surface, and you can probably just dig that out easier right away, instead of having to get those other materials in order to afford that. Okay, our inventory is full, so this ore is not going in our inventory. That also means that we have at least a full stack of tin, which makes me happy. Dart trap I don't really need. That was 41 tin right there. That's really good. Okay, that's just Lava Town, that's not hell below us. Okay. I was actually a little bit scared that we had inadvertently reached all the way to hell. Would rather have some more gems than shurikens, because gems can eventually be used toward getting me some new, what's it called? Some new, or a hook. That's what I'm looking for. Some more tungsten. We actually have a full block of tungsten, it appears. Die skeleton. So this has been a very successful first mining trip, don't get me wrong. That aqua chest is huge. Given the way our world spawned, I was kind of a bit worried about how we were going to go about exploring to the right there. Or even the left, not to mention the crimson, but also the fact that we had another big block of water on the left. When you don't have much in the way of freedom of movement, dealing with the water in Terraria is really difficult. Okay, so what I want to do is essentially fill in this little gap above my head with dirt. And then I should be able to, yes, mine this gold without getting hit by lava, which of course is a very legitimate concern to have, because lava could kill me before I can even react. It would really be horrifying to play through hardcore mode save without having such a good starting weapon. With that, if we look at the map, I mean, we are probably very, very close to hell. And we have found some good stuff, so what I'm going to do is actually toss on my magic mirror and go back toward the spawn. This is a little bit over a half an hour now, which is about where I want to keep these episodes. So we are going to be ending this, but first things first, I just want to make my way back over to our house here. Now that we have flippers, we are a little bit more free to move in the water. And I want to see if I can go about making a furnace. Where are you, furnace? Furnace. And we don't need these clay blocks and a anvil. And we don't need... What don't we need? This pressure plate, let's say. So now we can drop this furnace as well as this anvil. Let's start smelting some bars. So in terms of tin, we're going to have 46 bars that we can use. We're going to have 24 lead, which isn't a whole lot. Can we make tungsten? We should have a decent amount, 29. And gold. Okay, so now what can we make? In terms of tungsten armor, we can make like one piece. We're one bar. Oh wait, no, we have enough to make a tungsten chainmail. I think that's going to be our option here. We'll go with a tungsten chainmail. We can do a lead greaves and helmet. 25 and 20 would be 45, and we have 29. So we can't do that. So let's just do let's do a lead helmet, and then we will do... And I should also make a hammer. Obviously we aren't going to really be able to make hammers very much until we get to... Obviously we can make tin greaves. That's all I wanted to do. Obviously, eventually we're going to get the pwn hammer, which is going to make a big difference for us. And let me toss down a chest as well. That's not a good place for it. Then that dude has no place to stand. I want that over here. We're going to put all of our bars away. Tin, lead, tungsten, gold. We're going to want to put this obsidian over here. The ores we're going to fill in underneath their respective bars for now. This is going to be very basic chest management early on here. We didn't find any life crystals while we were down there, which is of course one negative. We don't really need this chest. We're going to stick all of our gems in here for the moment as well. Got a little bit of gold ore left. Silt, sand block. We might as well stack up on all this stuff. We're going to need it eventually. Water walking potion, bottles. Healing potions we'll keep on hand. Glowing mushrooms. Acorns we don't really need. Wood we don't need because we have plenty. Blink root don't care for. Torches. Night owl potion could come in handy. Pressure plate I don't care about. Boomerang I don't care about. Iron skin potions are actually very useful. A few statues. And featherfall potion. Tin short sword. I might as well sell that off, I guess. That'll go above those. Archery potion. And dirt block and stone block. Flare gun. Okay, so with that little bit of inventory management, we're going to wrap up the first episode of this series. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'm thinking that this is going to be, you know, a relatively long series, but not as long as it would be if I was actually completely starting from scratch. We got very weirdly, I guess, half lucky, half unlucky to have gotten the aqua chest and the spider biome. On the one hand, we're lucky because we can now swim, which lets us explore the rest of our map. But on the other hand, we also did not have a chance to get a web slinger, which of course, as a early game character who does not have a hook, would have been hugely useful. Regardless, I thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next episode. I may build up my house a little bit between episodes, But either way, I won't make any type of progress until I record the next episode. So thank you guys as always for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Later, everyone. Have a good one.